Here I am just drinking out of my frankly ludicrous Thor Love and Thunder Hammer cup, and you'd think anybody who owns such a ludicrous piece of MCU merch must be a massive fan of it, and frankly you couldn't be further from the truth because I am entirely indifferent to the entire Marvel Universe. And so when I say that I really enjoyed something that came from that, you should probably listen, because I loved Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night.
A loving homage to the 50s monster serials. This film is highly stylistic. They obviously put a lot of thought into how they were going to make this feel like a 50s serial. They really thought about the set, the casting, and the dialogue, the lighting, especially the lighting. Because when you're going to do something that is going to be in black and white, especially the kind of black and white that those 50s serials had, which had a lot of deep contrast to it, you've got to think about the lighting and the shadows to get that pop. So they obviously clearly started filming this with the intention of making it into a black and white film. As I say, even the color grading, 95% of this film is black and white. That is a brave choice from Disney, because of course people don't generally watch black and white movies these days, and it's a choice that I applaud, because at least they gave creative freedom to a director and let him just run with it. And this is obviously, quite obviously, a homage and a love letter to those 50 serials. There's only one problem with that, and that might be because I edit so I can sort of see the joins, if you know what I mean. This was obviously shot on a digital camera rather than a film camera, and then in post-production turned into a black and white aged film with film grain and color grading being used to make it black and white and look old. And added to that, right, there's a whole bunch of gore in this, which, great, lovely, but they're all CGI effects, not practical ones. And when you've gone to a massive amount of effort like they did with the set, the dialogue, everything else, to make it look like a 50s movie, to then digitally do these things, when you can still probably just do them practically, kind of took me out of the film a little bit. But this is a very tiny nitpick, really. And hey, I get it. It is much easier to do it that way than it is to do it practically, right? Because if a practical effect goes wrong, you've got to clean up, you've got to reset, you can redo it. Doing it digitally, just do it on a computer. It's much easier to shoot. I get that. But I wish they'd done practical. But again, as I say, this is a tiny nitpick, really. As for the story, well, I enjoyed it well enough. It has a definite beginning, middle, and end, and I really liked the characters and the world that these people live in, and I wanted to see more of it. Which is the problem. This is only about 55, 57 minutes long, somewhere around that time, maybe 60. But I wish it had each of that sort of beginning, middle, and end, the 3 acts. I wish they'd all been like 5 to 10 minutes longer, so that this was at least 75-minute feature length, 80, 90-minute feature length film, rather than a sort of 55-minute long pilot for a TV show that we might never get. I hope that we do get that TV show, though, because I would love for a 50s serial MCU Monster of the Week, Creature Feature of the Week serial show on Disney+. Disney, make it happen, please. Of course, the story being a little bit short is good because at least it left me wanting more. I didn't feel bored, I didn't feel like it wasted my time. But it's kind of bad because, as I say, I wanted more, and it left me feeling a little bit unsatisfied. And as even my wife said, is that it? The casting is really good. Gael Garcia Bernal is an actor that I have really enjoyed since I saw him in Y Tu Mama Tambien. And he's great here, perfectly cast. basically. The rest of the cast are fine, also. Absolutely no problems there. And overall, I highly recommend this. If you, like me, enjoy monster movies, if you're a fan of a 50s creature feature, if you're a fan of 50s serials, you're really, really going to enjoy this. Even if you're just a fan of films that have a style to them, then you'll enjoy this. Because this is definitely something where Disney gave the director free rein and he stamped his own style and ideas onto the film, and I applaud that. So, overall, highly recommend you watch this. It's on Disney Plus. 4 out of 5 stars.